And welcome back to Pint Guilt-Free Torah. Many people ask the question, why do I need to say a set of prayers, the one in the Siddur, in the prayer book? Why can't I make up my own prayers? Great question. And we're going to answer it with an incident that happens to Jacob, right before he dies. He calls in his son Joseph, and he says, I'm giving you an extra piece of land, something extra in the land of Israel, namely the area called Shechem, which I captured from the Amorite. How did I capture it? V'charvi uvakashti, it says, with my sword and with my bow. Now, we don't find Jacob going out war. We're not aware of that incident where he took over a whole town with a sword and a bow. But what happened is, while that war was going on, he was praying. And it says specifically, the Targum Onkelos, the translation, the ancient Aramaic translation of the word v'charvi uvakashti, with my sword and with my bow, translates bitsulasi, with my prayer, uvasi, and with my supplication. So basically with his prayer and his supplication. Now, why are prayer and supplication compared to a sword and a bow? A sword and a bow are two different weapons, and they're used differently. A sword is very sharp. It doesn't take a whole lot of skill, and it doesn't take a whole lot of strength to kill somebody with a sword, or even chop off somebody's head, depending on how sharp that sword is. Whoosh, one swipe like that, and it's very effective. On the other hand, a bow is used from a distance, and a bow is only effective, meaning with the arrow, the further you pull it back, the more damage it does. So one is used for hand-to-hand combat, and it doesn't take a whole lot of skill. It's very sharp, and the other is for distance, and you really need to pull it back, and that will give you what you need as far as the strength with your enemy. How is that compared to prayer and supplication? There are two types of prayer. One type of prayer is the type that is set out in our prayer books, the one that has been set by the Anshe Knesset Gedola, by the men of the Great Assembly. Great people. These were prophets. These were chachamim. They were wise people who could tune into things upstairs, get into chambers, so to speak, that we don't even understand. There's a whole world out there of spirituality and a whole world of how to connect upstairs that we're very removed from today. We don't maybe understand it as well, and therefore can't connect to it as well as they could. Here's an example. Imagine today on a computer. Sometimes I'm sitting on a computer, something comes up, I can't get a certain screen off, or I can't bring something up. Whatever it is, it seems hopeless. There's nothing. I call up my friend Sifron Benjamin and say, Sifron, this, and this happening. I describe it. Rabbi, click, control, look. All of a sudden, I'm out of that screen. All of a sudden, there's glory. Everything's great. Now, I don't understand what just happened, but I know one thing. I can't just say, can't I just press escape? Why won't that work? Seems logical to me. I just want to escape out of here. The answer is because I don't really understand what's going on in the inner workings of a computer. Somebody else has to understand that, and somebody can give you instructions. So too with our prayers. People who really understood this stuff gave us specific instructions. When you tune into that, you're tuning to something far, far beyond you. That's one type of prayer. That's with the sword, the sharpness. It's sharp, you tie it in, it's close, you do it. Then there's another type of prayer, the bow. That's the prayer that you make up yourself. You can insert things, you can make things up, you can be on an afternoon, just sometime talking, you and God. That's a unique prayer, but that prayer needs something special. That needs a lot of intention, that needs a lot of heart, that needs a lot of emotion. You have to put yourself completely in there. Like a bow, you have to pull it back. So prayer number one, you're tuning into something much bigger than yourself. Even though you don't understand everything going on, you have tuned into a power far greater than you, and that has the potential to give results that you never could have achieved, like our story of the computer. The second one, on the other hand, we need also our own prayers, our own personal contact, and we need to have those prayers in addition. So there are two types of prayers, actually. There's the set prayers. We need to say those, quite important. And then there's a second set of prayers, which is ones we make up ourselves, and we have to really be thinking and be present and mindful when we pray them. Two types of prayers. We need both at all times. Have a wonderful Shabbos.